So today we're reviewing
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
So we are continuing the Christmas series, and this is perhaps one of the best Christmas movies out of any. This is one of my favorite movies overall, and is definitely one of my top favorite Christmas movies of all time. What are your overall thoughts of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
This is definitely in my top 3 overall Christmas movies, with 100%, maybe even top 2, depending on like how I think about it. Sometimes those movies kind of alternate depending on how many times I've seen it and just my overall thoughts. But overall, it's 100% in my top 5. But sometimes it could be my top 2 depending on where the movies actually rank like year to year. But overall, great movie, love it a lot, great scenes, and honestly, each time we keep watching it. It's like I find a new scene that's even funnier. Like, we were just watching it 10 minutes ago, and a scene I've never seen before is actually hilarious. Like, I don't know. It's a great film.
Okay, so this movie basically is with Clark Griswold and the family, like usual. The main core family. While they change actors, it's still the main family, and obviously the main couple is the main actors. Comes from the original Vacation movie, which is a classic, but this is the Christmas-themed one that is, in my opinion, my favorite out of all of them. And out of all of them, this probably is my favorite, not just because we're reviewing now for Christmas, but it probably is my favorite. It's the funniest.
I mean, obviously, this is probably my second favorite, like, as far as the National Lampoon's movies go. I mean, obviously, I think I'm more of a fan. I like the first one more. I kind of view this as like a sequel to it, even though I know there's other movies that came out with this type of like title. Even though in my mind, I've only ever watched this one and then the original Family Vacation one where they go to Wally World.
That's obviously classic.
But that's probably my favorite one out of these two. But we're talking about this one right now, and like you said, it's kind of like a sequel to it. They bring back basically the majority of the cast. They bring back obviously Clark Griswold, his wife, and then also cousin Eddie and his wife is back. They recast. They had the same people for them. But they had to recast the kids. To it now, though, really, it's just a great Christmas movie. There's a lot of just scenes that just, I mean, obviously it's like a comedy for the most part, but mixed into the comedy is a great storyline that plays throughout with this whole situation with Clark at his job, and he thinks he's getting this big Christmas bonus, and he's gonna build a whole pool in the backyard, and he put like a $7,500 deposit down already on it, like expecting to get that Christmas bonus, which that pays off at the end. And then just mixed throughout it, though, it's just, like I said, I feel like it hits on almost every single traditional family Christmas, like, aspect to Christmas every year. Like, family coming in, putting lights up, getting a tree, like sleigh riding, like doing sledding.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in this film that makes sense, and it just really compiles Christmas into one movie, I think, in a great way.
Just a tiny little generally about the movie before we go into the specific scenes. This is a great Christmas movie as far as relating it to our real lives, at least in America. I know I have a lot of international viewers. Don't know if you celebrate Christmas, but this is definitely hits home with a lot of the stuff that we've dealt with family coming over, and there are a lot of relatable things, because when you have family over, which with this year may be a little different, but when you have the family over, there's a lot of different elements, such as Eddie, and it really is relatable. It goes to the extreme, but honestly, we've had experiences, and our family's not the craziest, that are pretty relatable, and there are sometimes random people that come in, and there's some crazy stuff that happens. But there is a good theme over the movie of
sacrifice.
Giving. Yeah, sacrifice, giving, and you see that through Clark, because different family members come over and he tries to be nice. He wants to flip out, but then he goes through a train of thought and realizes it's the Christmas season, so he tries to be nice, but obviously they play it for comedy. But that is the overall theme, is giving and trying to be nice over the holidays and Christmas, and that's an overall theme.
Yeah.
But why don't we go into some specific scenes in this great movie?
I mean, really, just start trying to like hit it's gonna be impossible to hit every single scene, but from the start of the film, they're going to get the tree. There's a really funny like car chase type scene where they're like going up the road. They get this giant Christmas tree, put it in their house. There's kind of some funny scenes between the Griswolds and their neighbors. Some really funny lines there between those two.
Who's crazy enough? The neighbor in this is Elaine from the very famous show Seinfeld.
Exactly. Yep. So she was in the movie. And there's some funny scenes between her and her husband as well, or at least whoever that is.
Her absolute pigs over
there. But that's kind of some funny things there. And really just getting to like the main scenes. When I think about it, I always think about him putting up the lights. And that really isn't just one scene. There's a lot of different like parts of him doing it. Like we just saw where he is on a ladder and it falls back and he goes back to it. He staples his his sleeve to the kind of gutter thing. He's on the top of the roof. And then obviously he tries to plug them all in at once and they don't start. And that obviously pays off at the end again. As far as like iconic scenes, like I feel like once everyone gets there in the house and Eddie gets there, there's a lot of just great scenes. Also, list one once they get in there. I feel like one that I really think about is that dinner scene when they're all sitting at the dinner table. There's a lot of just. I'll just mention a couple compiled there, so I can just kind of hit on that one.
Okay.
Or I'll hit one, I guess. I think one is where like they cut the turkey open and it opens up and it's like totally exhaust. Like, it's like there's nothing in it. It's just like steam comes out.
Like literally smoke.
And then I think Clark says he says I think it's just a little bit dry. It's
Yeah.
just like really dry. Then they're all trying to eat it. But that's one thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, well, I guess kind of before that dinner starts, I just want to mention a scene is when Aunt Bethany comes in and has her cat. She wrapped up her cat in a box, and there's a funny line here.
She wrapped up her damn cat.
And then I guess you want to.
Yeah, I guess another one at the dinner scene is when they're all sitting there and the table starts to like shake, and it's like and it's the dog like literally like choking under the table. Eddie. Well, obviously, I think Eddie steals this movie. Obviously, Clark Griswold is the main lead, but I really do think that cousin Eddie does a great job just hitting all his comedic scenes really, really well. And he probably gives. Honestly, I just made a list of like my favorite lines, and he probably delivered more than half of them. And but he basically says like, "Oh, he's just yakking on a bone."
Yeah.
And then you hear him like it's like disgusting because they're trying to eat dinner, and he like throws up whatever it is.
Oh, he's just yakking on a bone. He got it up. He's all right now.
And then he's like, well, and then he was probably just nosing around in the trash. Then they go in the kitchen, and that's where he's like picking trash up and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a classic scene with the freaking dog sounding like he's freaking a T-Rex. But, yeah, then we actually have the cups from the movie.
Yeah. What was it, eggnog?
Yeah, there was eggnog in these. Then that same dinner scene, though, there are so many great scenes in it. So Clark says that an airline pilot spotted Santa's sleigh, and everyone started saying something. Then freaking Eddie said...
You serious, Clark?
And then, obviously, you have Aunt Bethany saying the Pledge of Allegiance when he tells her to say grace. She says the Pledge of Allegiance, which is pretty funny. Eddie stands up and puts his hand over his chest.
The blessings!
Grace. She passed away 30 years ago. There's obviously plenty of lines there.
Just getting other scenes. Obviously, that dinner scene has a lot of great scenes, great lines. And then I feel like there's a good line from Eddie where they're trying to eat the food. It's basically cat food, essentially, like mixed into like this Jello stuff. And he's like, like you see Clark take like a piece of hair out of his mouth. He's like, yeah, sure, man. He's like, hey, was a cat in this? And then Eddie's like, I'm not sure about the cat. I don't know about the cat, but I sure am enjoying it.
Yeah.
I don't know about the cat, but I sure am enjoying it.
Like eating the food off, which is a great scene.
Yeah, but she actually scoops up the food on the thing and then eats the food with that same spoon.
Disgusting.
Eddie is just funny all around. He's such a great character. I know our grandma Sharon says he's very annoying, which he is supposed to be kind of annoying, but I just kind of buy into it, and he's just funny to me. He's obviously annoying. I mean, he's destroying their house.
It's funny for us to watch in a movie.
Yeah, and he's really annoying. Well, the cat, Aunt Bethany's cat that was wrapped up, finally gets out and starts chewing the friggin' wires or the Christmas lights and gets literally friggin' exploded under the couch. Then I know the tree catches on fire.
No?
Well, Uncle Lewis lights the friggin' tree on fire. I won't say Jake's favorite quote. And then there's obviously the scene where they light up all the lights outside in a classic scene there. That he can't, for some reason, get him on. And so all the lights, he plugs it in finally. Just someone turns on the lights in like the back room or the shed. And then they all turn on and a crazy scene there. And everyone's amazed. But then his dad says,
"The little lights are not twinkling." I know, Art, and thanks for noticing.
It's a really funny scene there. Because he put like 1,000,000 lights up. But the little lights aren't twinkling in the back. That's a hilarious line right there.
I feel like a whole really classic thing about this film we have not even talked about yet is obviously the tree that they get is a giant tree from like a forest, which brings a certain animal into the house, which causes a lot of scenes in this movie, and particularly a squirrel. And there's some great moments in that. Like they're acting like it's like this like tiger in the house, and there's a scene where once they find it in the tree, it like jumps out and they all run around. Yeah, there's like a squeaky sound, and obviously that brings a really good line that I'm gonna save later on. But after that, they're all hiding, and then like Clark says he's gonna go in there. and he's like, I'm gonna put a blanket over it, and smack it with a hammer.
Catch it in the coat. Smack it with a hammer.
Has that twice.
Is that your favorite
And then,
line?
no, it's not. But then, as he's going in, his dad,
Someone
I can't
faints.
think of his name, and he's like, I'm going in with him. I feel like we've used that line a lot whenever we
Yeah.
like go to get food or like.
I'm going in with him.
Yeah, that is a
doing.
funny line. Yeah, 'cause
So,
they act like they're freaking hunting down a freaking lion.
Yeah,
Which
it-
it is kind of funny because I feel like we've had a mouse incident in the house, and that's kind of
Yeah.
our mentality because, I mean, it's a little thing, but it's
Yeah.
like you have the mentality of going in like you're hunting something.
And that's just before, like he acts so tough there, but then like 10 seconds later, he's like, he delivers a giant squirrel line. This line
Yeah.
right here. I guess that was his Eddie's dog. That's who his
Yeah,
dog
yeah,
was.
yeah.
And then it chases the squirrel out the door, right into a lane. The next door neighbor's
Yeah.
like body. It's just a funny scene there.
Well, so in the probably the most classic scene is when there's so many great scenes. With
Yeah,
this
we're
movie.
probably leaving stuff out.
If we forget one before this is over, I mean, this could be an hour long.
Like there's a scene,
But-
there's a scene in a mall that was hilarious that we just saw today. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
hilarious scene.
Yeah, there's a great scene with. I mean, Clark really does bring so much to this movie,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and in particular, this shows in this last scene where Clark gets what he thinks is the bonus. He opens it, and it's the Jelly of the Month Club, and Eddie obviously gives the line.
Yeah.
It's a gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
That it is, Edward.
He's so mad that he kicks the tree if this isn't the biggest bag over the.
Yeah,
Gives this line.
we've used that line a few times.
Biggest bag over the head punch in the face I ever got. God damn it!
And then gives one of the best one-line rants ever that I can't show here because it's more than 10 seconds. I can't show the whole thing. It's an absolute classic line where he freaking goes off on the boss and then says he needs, where he says, where's the Tylenol?
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
And probably one of the best scenes in Christmas movie history right there.
There's a scene where, obviously, like I mentioned before, Clark's trying to build this pole in the backyard, and basically he goes outside, or no, he's in the kitchen one night, looking out the window, listening, or looking, like he's imagining the pole being there to this like song. I can't think of what the song is, but it's a classic Christmas song mixed with like the shot of everyone swimming outside.
Yeah.
You see Eddie on the diving board, and his face is like, well, first he sees like
What's that?
this girl that he saw in the first one all the time,
Yeah,
and then he sees
yeah.
her on the diving board, and like basically it turns
See Eddie on the
into
diving
turns
board.
to Eddie, and his face is like really weird. There's a lot of good moments mixed in as well. Like there's some great heart-to-heart moments. Like he has a good like talks to the girl and I think maybe both kids, or at least just the girl in that scene.
Yeah.
Eddie's daughter, because it's kind of a sad moment there where she's like, sometimes Santa Claus doesn't
Yeah.
visit us, which is really sad. But then obviously it gets right back into the hilarious stuff.
Wait,
But,
that
like,
is
there's
a
a lot
good
of
point,
there's a
yeah.
lot of emotional stuff as well, even though there's a lot of comedic moments that happen. This one I wanted to say was right after that scene I mentioned before,
Maybe 5 lines.
when basically when he said the dog was nosing around in the trash and the garbage, he goes in there and starts to pick it up. And as he's like first of all, Clark's been doing everything this entire movie, getting everything set up, like all the decorations, like organizing everything, getting the tree, like doing the dinner and stuff. And then like he was like cutting the turkey and all that. Then he's like picking up trash on the ground on his hands and knees. And Uncle Lewis says a very classic line in.
Run into the living room, get my stogie.
Good line there, this line
Yeah.
right here. And then the other scene I wanted to mention was also from Uncle Lewis, when right before the squirrel, because that one, I think it's Aunt Edna or like something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever her name
Or
is.
Bethany.
Bethany.
Aunt Bethany.
Aunt Bethany hears a squeaky sound, and he's like, you couldn't hear a dump truck driving
Yeah.
through a nitroglycerin plant.
It's a funny squeaky sound. You couldn't hear a dump truck driving through a nitroglycerin plant.
And then, like, that's right before the squirrel jumps out, so...
Yeah.
And honestly, those are
The
two really
yell
great
there.
lines there. And then, honestly, at the end, Uncle Lewis flies 20,000 feet in the
Sure.
air.
That ain't the friggin' Christmas star, Grizz. It's a light on the sewage treatment plant.
Don't drop that!
Uncle Lewis, well, I said Cousin Eddie kind of stole the movie. I think Uncle Lewis did a great job as well. He's not in this film until probably halfway through, which is kind of crazy to think
Yeah.
about.
There are obviously plenty of scenes. I guess if I had to pick out one line in particular, I'm gonna mention two. Okay,
This one.
that we haven't mentioned. And they're both from Eddie. There's one where he buys so much dog food. It's where Clark's like, "Oh, I'll pay for it," and they're at the store,
Oh, yeah.
and he just keeps putting more and more dog food on. And then finally, he's like, Clark says he wants to buy the presents for the kids, and he's like, you know what? Make sure you throw something in there for you, really nice.
I'd like to get something for you, Clark. Something really nice.
He
Yeah.
acts like he's being so nice, but he's like paying for it.
He was asking
But-
him to buy him stuff, too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, he gives him a whole list. And then my favorite line is when the cat gets electrocuted. It's a terrible scene, but it's still funny because it's fake.
Before that,
The cat, when it dies, it gets burned into the floor. Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
they moved the couch, and he's like, the one,
See the outline.
his dad's like, what is it? He moved the couch, and he's like, oh, God.
One outlet. Oh, God.
What is it?
Yeah. You see the perfectly clear cutout of the cat in the
That
ground.
line might have been the best line, honestly.
Yeah, then
then
it's
this
followed
line.
up with Eddie saying, if that cat had 9 lives, you spent them all.
That thing had 9 lives. She just spent them all. Woo!
I think you mentioned it, but like you didn't really talk about it much. But like you see like Uncle Lewis like lighting a match in the other room, and all of a sudden you just hear
Yeah, the freaking
and you
flame
turn around,
goes
it's
through.
on fire. The whole tree is like literally caught on fire. Like this sound is like such like a quiet sound, but like happens so quick. So
Yeah, and he says, what are you looking at?
yeah.
My tree. So what's the matter with you?
And then he's on fire.
That's on fire.
Yeah. We're gonna have still a section here with we're gonna see what our dad Barry's thoughts on this movie are and a favorite line right now. Now he's here. So Barry, what are your overall thoughts on Christmas Vacation?
Christmas Vacation is definitely a great Christmas holiday movie. Family Christmas movie that I remember watching back when it came out. I think it relates to multi-generational family, connections with Christmas. Anyone that's been in a family definitely can relate to this movie a little bit. At least I know for me, with my family growing up, my parents, holiday get-togethers always were good. But when you mix different families together, for Christmas or holidays, they do run their course. I mean, they're really good, but obviously there's always
Some baggage.
There's some baggage, trying times involved with that. And obviously in this movie, they encompassed bringing both families together. So typically you go to one house and then you go to the other house. So you deal with all kinds of different family connections. Like I said, a lot of great things, but it brings upon, a lot of holiday stress and a lot of different holiday things that I think are just par for the course. And so, like I said, he has the entire thing at his house, and between the two grandparents, and then you throw in the little tidbits with uncles and aunts, I mean, you can only imagine. I know for me, the family connection, the family thing is very important to us, and throughout, all the sacrifice and pain, it is worth it. And because there's a lot of, like I said, good times with it. So that's my overall thoughts of Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, so you have a favorite line
favorite
from
line.
the...
And I was going to go into the favorite line because I can't say enough about. I think it's definitely probably the top 3 best Christmas movies of all time for me. And it's
You
very
can talk
funny.
about it for hours because it's just so many great
and
lines.
it's very funny. And I think as far as lines go, there's several. I think from beginning to end, it's a good movie. But I'm going to go back to a lot of the lines and try to find one from the actual dinner scene. I think with Clark, with some of the lines that he said, and obviously Eddie, just absolute classics. There were some throughout the movie that, like I said, I could pick, but I guess I'll go with the one where Clark tries to tell the kids that he heard on the news that they had spotted something on the radar in reference to Santa Claus, and Eddie was eating his food, and he kind of looked down. A little more simple-minded. Eddie's got a big heart, but he's very simple-minded, and he looks at Clark and he says, "Are you serious, Clark?"
You serious, Clark?
And obviously Clark looks at him like, "Man, where is this guy at?" And then Eddie's obviously Eddie's trying the food like in the dishes with the spoons everyone's using. And then I'll end up, whether they put this in the review or not, but I love when the dog kind of burps and the whole table moves. Yeah. And Clark looks at him and goes, "Hey, what's going on there?" And he said, "Oh, he just, what did he say? He's yakking on a bone." And so,
Oh, he's just yakking on a bone. He got it up. He's all right now.
and then,
He's got it up. He's good.
Clark's mad, and Eddie goes, "No." He goes, "It's not from feeding him at the table. I think it's he's nosing through the trash." So.
I feel like that's actually a line that we didn't touch on before. Was when Clark is talking to his boss after Eddie had just kidnapped him. Didn't he say like, "Sorry, my cousin Eddie has a bigger heart than he does a brain," or something like that, or what's he say?
Yeah, no, his heart's bigger than his brain.
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, "I appreciate that, Clark."
Cousin-in-law who's heart is bigger than his brain.
I appreciate that, Clark.
And back to the review. And this is obviously a classic movie. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. So many great lines. If we missed anything, it's just because it's that great. I could watch this a million times.
Well, okay.
It just gets more and more funny. The characters are perfect. Clark really does make this. His comedic relief is just so great, and I love this movie for sure.
Yep. Last thing I'll say, just to kind of close it off, basically at the end, Uncle Eddie, Cousin Eddie, goes and kidnaps his boss and drives him basically to their house. Because remember he said when he was going on his big rant, he said basically like, I wish I could have like you want no one more wish if you guys want any last ideas for a Christmas present. I want my boss right here in front of me. He actually went and got him, which leads to a lot of funny moments at the end. The FBI shows up, jumps like a huge swing into the window, and there's no threat at all. And they get inside, they tell him to freeze, and they're all freeze, and like and Cousin Eddie's like face is like frozen, just like standing there. There's some funny moments there. And there's one thing I was gonna mention about the whole rant that he went on at the end. He's like, "Holy blank."
Where's the Tylenol?
And then it closes off at the end, like we say. Uncle Louis throws the match, flies the whole like the reindeer and the Santa guy that he put on the rooftops, like flying in the sky. They sing the
Aunt Bethany starts singing the national anthem because
just
she's
randomly.
insane.
And then they all like the cops all do it. The FBI, everyone just sings. Then it ends on a good note, like they all go inside and celebrate Christmas together. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching our movie review of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is our 3rd or 4th edition to the Christmas series. 7th edition.
Maybe.
It's like the 4th or 5th movie review. And there'll also be a special debut, or not debut, a special cameo, or I guess a special addition to one of the videos
family.
from this person right here. So be ready for that.
We might have, we should have a lot of people. We should have a Christmas special, the Christmas Eve special with a lot of different people on there reviewing Elf, possibly. Could have a lot of different guests on there.
Stay tuned for that, guys. But anyways, though, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think about this movie. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it 100%. And have a great. Anyways, I want to say we'll do it in the last review. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Don't drop that!